We're back with another episode of the Randy Wilson podcast. I'm your host, Randy Wilson. Today we have a really exciting episode with your favorite granny. But before I get into the episode and introducing her, please make sure you subscribe to the show. Continue to follow the show. You can find us on Instagram at Randy Wilson Podcast and everywhere else that podcasts are played. Also go over to randywilsonpodcast.com to learn more about the show. So just doing my typical, Instagram scrolling, social media searching, I began to recognize that your favorite granny was popping up everywhere. It was my friends, it was YouTube podcasters that I wasn't even familiar with. It was specifically Keisha Shabas, Joe Smith's wife. That picture that kind of I saw that and I was like, man, I gotta figure out who your favorite granny is. And so do a mutual friend, mutual acquaintance. I'm not sure y'all's relationship, but Noah's definitely a friend of mine. I reached out to Noah and I said, hey, I seen your favorite granny at your store. I see her popping up everywhere. Can you help make the introduction? He did. And she was generous enough to come on the show. So Granny, if it's okay if I call you Granny,
That's good.
I appreciate having you on the show. Thank you for coming through.
You're welcome. And let me just correct one thing. The name is Your Fave Granny. And when you say your favorite granny and people start Googling me, they start Googling your favorite granny and they won't
Okay.
find me. No.
Gotcha. Your fave Granny.
Yes.
Appreciate that. No problem. We want to go ahead and real quick before we get into this conversation, let them know where they can find you.
So the name is spelled UrFavGrannie. And if you put that in on any platform, that'll be me.
Got it. Listen, she's easy to find, very Googleable, and extremely entertaining. Like at first, when I saw this, I didn't know what to think. I'm like, is this like a meme? I mean, it was TikTok. Because there's a lot of things with you that talk about, like as an artist, like, I don't know if I'm saying voiceover. I don't know if voiceover is the right thing. Like I
lip syncing.
Lip syncing, but then I realized like, no, she's actually rapping. Did you start with lip syncing first?
Yeah.
And then it turned. So I did a little homework on you. Born and raised in Norfolk, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know if he was raised. If he's born in Norfolk. Right. What part of Norfolk was you born in?
I mean, I was born in the Norfolk General Hospital.
Got you. Now we know some folks from Norfolk on the show, so I do a little bit of work in Norfolk. So and then you spent some time in DC.
Yes.
You have identified in some of your previous shows and saying that she's from the street.
Yeah.
Streets raised you.
Streets raised me.
Didn't really go to school a lot, if I'm understanding correctly, growing up.
5th grade dropout.
5th grade dropout. But you've made a pretty good life for yourself. It looks like all things have kind of worked out for the benefit. I'm sure it's not been an easy process. Now you was on Channel 12 News. I don't know if it's 12 News. I saw you on the news the other day. You're everywhere. I've seen and or heard major hip hop artists, you've got the attention of Quavo, Little Durk, Lil Yachty. And this has happened all within the past 3 years, if I'm correct.
Probably 2.
2 years?
Maybe 3 for the lip syncing.
Yeah. So let's kind of just go back, like, for those of you who may not be familiar, can you kind of explain to the audience, like, how you kind of got your start with this music thing?
So, I mean, music has always been there for me. But I don't know. Are you familiar with Musically?
Musically?
So it was before TikTok. It was Musically.
Okay,
and then TikTok bought that company and then made a TikTok. So I was on Musically doing lip syncing. And then of course when TikTok took over, I kept doing my thing. Never really even got on Instagram. Like I literally didn't. Then I just kept doing TikToks with lip syncing, and then my fan base started just growing. And then they just kept saying, Granny, you should do your own music. You know, you should write your own music. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And I don't know what to do. Like the pressure was on. Um, and I just then started hearing every now and then, like within a couple of months, people outside like be like, "You ever thought about doing your own music?" You know, I'm like, "Damn, I keep hearing it." You know what I mean? So just one night, I sat in here and I was like, "So rap is like storytelling. So why don't I just start talking about my life?" And so the first few bars that night, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll never forget it because I wrote this song, my first song in 20 minutes. And it was a banger. And it's called Slinging That Heat if y'all want to go hear it.
She's slinging
But
that heat.
it starts out with everything started in the womb. Before I was born, I was doomed. I was 5, mama gave me to the state. Since then, knew love was fake. And then it goes on, jumped in the streets at 10, used and abused, can't trust a friend. So the lyrics just go on as I was processing in my head how I felt about my life as a child, you know, and growing up. So yeah, that's where it all started.
I mean, you are a perfect example. And like you started it up later in life. You're a perfect example though that if you put your mind to it, you can do it. Because there's some people who have had their whole life, you know, dedicated, focused toward music or anything that they may have been attempting to accomplish, and they're still quite a long ways ahead in their journey. And I'm sure that your journey, you know, who knows what the end of your journey is going to be.
Right.
But considering that you've been doing this for a little over 2 years, and now you have over 200,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok, and people are now tapping in all over the world to
Mhm.
your fave granny, that speaks volume. So clearly, you are successful and talented, whether people like you for your music or if they're just amused. I was looking at one of your recent interviews where you talked a little bit about that because of experiencing people laughing, maybe because you're of grandmother age, which today you can be a grandmother at 35, you know what I mean? Like,
That's true.
but you're old enough to probably be my mother, and you're doing this rap thing, and you was talking about how you didn't always know how to respond to the laughing piece of it. Has that normal? That was about a year ago in the interview I watched. Has that normalized for you now?
Yeah, so now I just really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. So when I first started, I mean, it did. I ain't gonna cap. It hurt my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would see a heart emoji, and then no, I'd see a fire flame and a laughing emoji, and I'm thinking, what the fuck are they laughing at? Like, what's
Mm-hmm.
funny?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm being serious. So I don't know what they're thinking is funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then it bothered me. I ain't even gonna lie. But then I just one day I was just like, let me just go into third person and I literally went out of my head and went like I'm somebody else and started scrolling and pretending like I see me now, and it's like, okay, oh, that shit is funny. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
unexpected. And the fire flames now I get like they liked it and
Yeah.
they're just like it was unexpected and it's funny and if they're getting high and they high at the time, it's like probably extra funny at that point.
Yeah.
And so and then it just is what it is. Now I get it because I did go into third person and I saw how it looks for other people. So
Yeah.
I get it now. So I really don't care anymore.
I mean, from outside looking in, though, I think that I think what may come across as funny to some people is the shock, the surprise. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
listen, you actually are good. Like, you actually can write. You actually
Thank
are
you.
good, and I think people are not expecting you to be good, so that almost kind of throws them off. Like, what the hell is this? You
Oh,
know,
I
which,
get who writes your lyrics all the time. And that's
so,
offensive because I write my own stuff. You know, I
which
just
leads
wrote a
me
song today.
So which leads me into this, like, is comedy even something you would even consider? Because you naturally could do comedy as well.
So I
Acting?
mean, I'm not funny. Like I can't write funny. You know, I can't plan to be funny. I'm funny and people laugh at me all the time, but it's unintentional.
Hmm.
And that's okay.
That's the
So if I
funniest.
was,
That's the
so
best.
yeah, and so if I
Mhm.
was, if the Funny Bone said, "Hey, come perform your song Crackheads and do an opening before I don't know whoever comes
Mhm.
out," I'll do it.
Of course, yeah.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. Let's go.
Just keep it in mind. That I mean, because again, I don't think that people, or at least from my standpoint, like I wouldn't be laughing at you. I'm laughing at like wow. That's like it's almost like a meme. It's like she actually can rap. You know, it's like back in the day when Larry Johnson was grandmama. Thinking that I don't know if you remember that he was a basketball player and he put on but he dressed like a grandma. He would go to the basketball court and all the kids would be looking at like, how is this grandma, which is a pro basketball player, out here beating all these kids?
Mm,
That was the image. I feel like it's the same thing with you. You could show up in a rap battle if you chose to battle rap someone and people looking at you like,
yeah.
and then you go up there and spit. So that to me, that's what draws people in. But so talk to me a little bit about like I listened to some of your previous interviews and I heard you share, you know, DMX, I think Tupac, Biggie. These are people that I think had an influence on your music. I've heard you talk a little bit about Lil Baby as well
Mm.
today. How are things going for you? Because you're ascending, you're climbing, you get people's attention. Are opportunities could present themselves, and are you making efforts to try to expand and connect with industry artists?
I mean, a lot of the a lot of the industry already follows me.
Mhm.
Um, so getting in contact with them is nothing but a DM away, you know, because the DMs are open now because we follow one another. But I don't want to. I feel like this. So let's just use French Montana for example. You know, we follow one another. I feel like he sees me. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So
yeah,
if there's an opportunity, he will approach me if it's something that he wants to work with. You
yeah,
know, I'm not gonna dick ride. I'm not gonna be in your DM like, "Hey, help me out." You know, I'm not doing all that.
yeah,
You see what I do. I'm not a kid. Like
yeah,
most rappers are 20, you know, 20, 25, and they're excited and they're eager and I'm be 59 years old this year. I ain't got time for a whole lot of craziness. We
yeah,
either gonna do it or we ain't.
yeah.
And I'm gonna let you propose it. You know, I've dipped in some DMs, but I think that was earlier on, and people just didn't know whether to take me serious or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the internet seems to be your friend. To me, it appears to me that the internet loves you. I'm curious, what your stage performance would be like. Do you have any shows coming up? Are you looking to get put on shows? Is this an opportunity that promoters and people right now listening to this interview can say, "Hey, I'd like to consider seeing how I can get her on a bill." Just give you a call, hit up the DM.
Yeah, yeah. You want my rates? Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, so I have been hit up by a lot of promoters. Um, I have a show on the 28th in Virginia Beach. Um, Wednesday, I'm going to be hosting, and I'll probably sing my song at. Give me 1 second.
It's all good.
I'm not. Hold on 1 second, because I do want to say where I'm going to be. Sliders Bar and Grill on Hall Street. They have
Okay.
Wild and Out Wednesday as a theme,
Yep.
and I'll be hosting that this Wednesday. So yeah, opportunities are opening. People hit me up a lot asking for my rates, but I think they just don't think like my rates. I don't think my rates are unreasonable, to be honest. I probably could go up in rates, but it's just I don't whatever.
Are you under management right now?
I am the manager.
That might be, sometimes it's easier though to, I believe your rates could go up too, and I don't know what your rates are. I'm only assuming, but I think you're worth. I think you got to set the price. Nobody knows your worth better than you until someone comes
Right.
around and says,
Right.
"Hey, yeah,
And so that's what I really was trying to get out. Like,
Mhm.
because I'm older, I know my worth. You me tell you the dumbest thing I think that rappers do
What's that?
is to pay a damn venue to rap. I would never go pay a venue to rap. I'm bringing you money.
Yeah.
People are coming to see me and I'm making you money, but I'm going to pay you and I'm not getting nothing. That to me just it don't make sense to me. I get it, but that's that young mentality where they're eager to get out there and they're not thinking rationally. Like if everybody just quit paying these people, maybe you'll start getting paid.
I mean, they need to just, maybe they should just
I
go.
don't know.
Open mics are open. There's Tuesday versus, there's different open mics across the city and across the state. That's the place where they probably should go build your craft. Um,
Right.
I think, well, one of the things. So if there's a, are you not looking? One of the things in one of your interviews that I found a little funny is that you're not looking for a grandpa.
I mean, no, I'm open, but I ain't looking. Because what I don't, again, I'm a grown ass woman. I don't have time for no dumb shit.
No, but I mean, you like young men, right?
I mean, I do. Not young, like 20s and 30s. No,
No,
I mean,
but
you got
30,
to have that maturity level.
but 35 is cool.
I mean, bro,
I'm
it
just
just
saying,
depends. It
somebody.
depends on the conversation, the intelligence. Like, can we talk about politics? Can we talk about mental health? Can we talk about all these things, and it'd be a really good conversation.
But how I'm asking because how can a young man? Because I just feel like grandpas are out of the question.
It's out of the question.
You're too hip. You're too young. You just got they ain't gonna work. They ain't gonna be
It's
people.
facts.
So I want to know how can a young guy shoot his shot?
It ain't. I mean, I get You ought to see the DMs that I get, but it ain't. I don't even know. It would just have to be one that just hits right. I don't know. There's
Yeah,
no certain kind.
it's not because with you gaining the success that you got, I'm sure that's something probably to manage in itself right now.
Yeah, people be like, "Hey, you single?" I was single 6 months ago. You ain't say shit. The hell you talking to me now for?
Yeah,
No.
they think they seeing you gotta keep. You need to have your own money because I'm over here working on my own thing too. Tell me this:
Yeah,
you Uber or what is it? Because I see these folks. I'm assuming you do some Ubering a little bit or something. Lyft.
yeah, yeah. I got a full time job, and then part time in the evenings. I Uber usually from like 5 to 7, and then Saturday during the day. Sometimes Sunday. I try to take Sunday and just do me, but I haven't Ubered in about a month because I have been sick. Like I had that cough everybody's getting.
Yeah.
So I haven't done it in about a month. But
How
yeah,
how
done
all
it for
so
like 6 years.
are you always introducing your music to people who are riding your car?
Just depends on the vibe. People
Yeah.
get in the car. If I feel like they fun and they be about it, then I say, hey, you want to do a reaction video to a song of mine? They either say yes or no. I've had no's, and I'm like, it's cool, whatever.
That's smart. Like I don't know if I even realized that that was the point. It was for a reaction video. Okay. So then you share those on YouTube, TikTok as well.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this, because you're a much more established YouTube person. Is the money good on YouTube?
I just started monetizing
Yeah.
because you had to have a certain amount of watch hours, and
Yeah.
I literally like probably 2 weeks. I just started getting money, and surprisingly, it was pretty good. Like so far, it
Good.
ain't
Good.
nothing grand, but it's like, oh wow, okay, that was
Good.
quick.
Good. Hey, what brought you to Richmond, Virginia?
Oh, my baby daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: with the platform that you're creating, that you've established, do you as I shared with you before the interview started, my podcast is kind of like the intersection between hip hop and politics. We talk community, sports, we talk a lot of things. But when I talk to individuals like yourself, I'm really curious, like, do you ever are you intentional about trying to use your platform to help you, but using your voice on larger matters, like you're doing it through your music. You're talking about real things that's happening in our day-to-day world. But like right now, I feel like you've built up such a name and popularity that anybody who has any intelligent sense, in my opinion, would be open to listening to what you have to say on behalf of whatever. Do you feel motivated or encouraged to use your voice on things that's impacting our society today outside
More
of the
than you
music?
know. More
Yeah.
than you know. I'm very, very passionate about the way the world is today. I'm very passionate about the healthcare and how it's all just bogus.
Hmm.
I'm very passionate about all that. The damn politics, just everything. Everything is jacked up, and the food prices, like everything. The
Hmm.
way the rent's going up, and it's just like it's like, who can I talk to? Where's the groups at? Why the people ain't talking? Like, we're complaining to one another, but we're not doing nothing about it. And if we come together, we could possibly change some shit, because a goddamn bottle of ketchup is $5, and that's not cool. It really ain't.
You're right.
It's $5 for a bottle of ketchup. And people keep raising prices because they can, because ain't nobody saying or doing shit. Americans are dumb as shit. This wouldn't be going on somewhere else without people coming together and fighting for what they believe in. We can't just sit here and complain. Yeah, I get passionate about this stuff.
I mean, and I don't listen. Your voice can be used though. I don't. If you're wondering where you can use your voice, we could talk further. But I mean, I can tell you this: outside, like music and hip hop will allow you to utilize your voice within music and hip hop. And but I think that you're a leader in this space. You just have to step outside of the music and step into some of those other spaces and some of those rooms and talk. People are going to listen to you and respect you, one, because you have something to say, but you are older too than some of these other folks who are out here just living life recklessly. And I think that will add value too. So that's the thing that I think I saw when I was listening to the message in your music. I was like, this is humanizing things for your generation, quite frankly, to hear in a way that they may not receive it if it came from somebody younger, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe coming from you and you put things out there in very much layman's sense terms, common sense language. I'm encouraging you to continue to use your voice because it's very powerful. I'm proud of you. I mean,
Thank
dang,
you.
I wish you was my grandma. You probably hear that sometimes. You ever hear that? Like you probably
A
got some.
lot. Yeah, yeah. People always say that. Or I wish he was in my life some kind of way when I was growing up, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you seem to be very cultured. Like, um, I don't like to stereotype or pass judgment or assume something I don't know. Like, you appear to be a presenting white woman, but I was quite for a minute. I was talking to someone that, hey, I don't know. She might not be. She
Right.
might be. She got red hair. Who knows? Like, she may not be just white. But I'm assuming that you grew up in some pretty diverse environments that probably.
So, what you heard of Tidewater Park in Norfolk?
Yeah. Yes.
So, so when I first started running away, that's where I ended up.
Okay.
So, and then every time I ran away thereafter, that's where I would go, there in Park Place. So from a very young age, 10 years old, I was in the black community,
Mm.
in the house, in the streets too, sometimes sleeping in the streets. But people would take me in their house and take care of me until the police picked me up again, and then even in detention or whatever, it would be black people.
Mhm.
And it was always black people that was there showing me love, and no white people. Even my social worker was black, and she was cool, and I liked her and everything, but she was the one that showed me concern. She was concerned about my well-being. It was never nobody white.
Yeah.
And so why would I go to white people if I'm getting love over here? You know what I mean? So, and it just naturally, that's just the way it went my whole life.
What do you think
I
the
didn't even start working for white people until like the 90s. Like it wasn't that long ago. I worked for black owned businesses. Like it was just natural.
Yeah.
It's my comfort zone.
What's your music demo? Do you know? Like who listens to your music in majority? Male, female, and then
Male.
age. Male. What's the
Yeah.
age?
Uh and I just looked at that. I want to say it was surprisingly up into the 40s, 45 maybe, but the youngest, I mean, majority, okay, that's 17.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with that. I mean, because I think that even though you're 59, you're extremely marketable because younger people are going to find it interesting. They're going to second look, and it's no surprise to me. If anything, that margin is just going to continue to increase. You know, so super excited to have a conversation with you. Your fave Granny. They can. I see you're dropping. Are you still just dropping singles right now?
Yes. I don't see the purpose in an album. I went to the store the other day and dude was like, when you dropping an album? I'm like, for what? Just just download the singles you like and put it on your playlist. There's your album.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to me, the formula that you're working is working, and we're gonna round up here. I'm gonna ask you like three, four, or five random questions. I ain't thought about what the questions are. This is typically how we end our show, and
Okay.
you tell me. You ain't got to think. Just tell me your response. Okay. What is the men or women preference?
Men.
Favorite body part?
Eyes.
Eyes. Chicken or fish?
Mm, fish.
Grilled, baked, uh,
Just
fried.
depends on the fish.
Do you eat catfish?
I do eat catfish.
Fried hard, soft.
Fried. I like it kind of hard, a little crispy.
Got you.
Not burnt hard, but just crispy.
Got you. Do you have a New Year's resolution?
I don't make resolutions.
Do you have a goal for the new year?
My birthday is New Year's Eve. Every
Wow.
year. And I don't have any goals. I mean, I just try to live life as it comes.
How do you spend New Year's Eve? Are you celebrating anyway?
So, you know, it
You
people
can
think
make
that
you can make
having
money. You should be making money on your birthday.
that's what I said to somebody yesterday. Somebody needs to book me for my birthday, and I need to be making money.
Yeah,
Usually, I'm just in the house. You know why? Because it sucks that my birthday's on New Year's Eve because all prices increase. Everything is like formal. So then you got to buy clothes. You got to do this. You got to do that, and it ends up being too much. So I end up just sitting in the house.
got it, got it. Are you Democrat, Republican? Do you get caught up in that stuff?
No,
Politics?
not
Huh?
especially these days. No, it's the best person for the job
Got you.
at this point.
Got you.
Yeah,
Do you have an idea on who you think the best person for the job is as far as the next president?
we're screwed.
That's what it looks like. It's like,
We are screwed. I
yeah.
don't know. Granny for president.
Hey, my mom is always like, you better get there and vote. You better get there and vote. And sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm voting between the two of the best, two of the work, and it's like, I appreciate my ancestors for everything that they've done to give me the opportunity and the privilege to vote. At the same time, I feel like we've evolved as a society. And
Yeah,
so let's focus, if we're focused on today, if you're telling me to go, Joe, I'm going to vote, I vote. But it's such a formality. I could go just write my name in and not have a chance to win just to say I voted. Does that really help the cause? I don't think so. So, um, I think that our local votes are just as important as our big national votes.
joke that's going on with the Speaker of the House. That whole situation is just a joke, and it's insulting for the country.
It
Y'all
is.
can't. It's so personal within that group of people.
Yeah.
They just have their own personal shit going on that they're just making the whole world, the whole United States suffer is what
You
they're
know
doing.
what?
And I want to go tell them that. I want to go tell them. Do y'all realize what y'all doing?
You might could get on one. I would not be surprised though if at some point you're going to be on some type of stage because you can reach an audience that someone who's running for office may need you to reach. So your voice, I don't even think just in this little bit talking to you, I just know that there's going to be a great upside for what you're going to be able to do. Like I don't even think you're just getting started. I got one more question though before we go. I wanted to ask. You met Keisha Chavis, Joe Smith's wife.
Who is that?
Are you familiar with her? Joe
The
Smith,
names?
Joe Smith's the former NBA basketball player from Norfolk, Virginia, originally, and his wife recently went on Instagram Live and shared a video of them arguing because he found out that she.
Oh, yes. She was on the OnlyFans.
Yeah, where did you meet her at? Just curious, because we was talking about she was possibly gonna be a guest on my show, and that's kind of how I came across you as well.
Oh, okay. So, and so, where did you see us together? On my pitch, on my thing?
It might have been on her page.
Oh. So I recently went to New York to be on a reality show with Jim Jones' mom, Mama Jones.
Okay.
Um, and she was there as well. So I
Okay.
did meet her, and I met Young Boy's mom. She was part of the thing. So yeah, the show ain't out yet, so I can't like really get into it,
Oh, so you got some reality TV shows coming up.
but just that one, and I performed my viral song, "Making It Out the Hood." I
Okay.
performed on that show. I was a part of the show, and part of that show I performed. So
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that you still keeping tight. I look forward to seeing what's to come with you, and I'd like to bring you back as a guest on the show in the future as well, just to kind of keep up with your journey. So thank you so much for.
you're welcome. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. This is your fave Granny. You can check her out everywhere. Just Google her, follow her on
Facts.
Instagram, follow her on TikTok. And remember, if you're just learning about her, that you heard it from the Randy Wilson podcast. And we're out.